The pen was already moving when the whisper reached him. "Sir, don't sign that." In a room filled with polished suits, crystal glasses, and quiet confidence, the voice didn't belong. It came from the one person no one was listening to, the waitress standing at the edge of the table, hands shaking as she clutched a tray. Ethan Cole paused. At 50, he had signed documents worth more money than most people would earn in a lifetime. This deal was supposed to be just another formality, another quiet victory, another step higher, but something about the fear in that whisper made him stop. And in that moment, the story reminds us that kindness still matters. Not the loud kind, but the brave kind that speaks even when it's scared. "Excuse me?" one of the lawyers snapped. Ethan raised a hand. "Wait." The room froze. He looked up at the waitress. "Say that again." She swallowed. I know I'm not supposed to interrupt, but please, don't sign that paper." The lawyers exchanged annoyed glances. This was ridiculous, a waitress giving legal advice, but Ethan didn't laugh. He didn't scold her. He studied her face. Nervous, sincere, and filled with urgency. "Why?" he asked calmly. Her voice trembled. "Because my father signed something like that once. They told him it was safe. It wasn't." The room grew quieter. He lost his business. She continued. "Then his home, then himself. I've been serving tables ever since, but I promised I'd never stay silent again if I saw someone about to make the same mistake." Ethan leaned back slowly. The contract lay open in front of him, waiting for a signature that could not be undone. "What part worries you?" he asked. She pointed to a paragraph buried deep in the document. "That clause. It looks small, but it shifts all future liability onto you after the deal is done." One lawyer scoffed. "That's incorrect." Ethan didn't respond. He picked up the paper and read it again, slower this time, then even slower. His jaw tightened. "Everyone out," he said. Silence fell like a dropped glass. "Sir, out." When the door closed, Ethan looked at her with new eyes. "You might have just saved me from ruining my life," he said quietly. Her shoulders sagged with relief. "I didn't do it for money. I just couldn't walk away." That was the moment Ethan felt something shift. Not in the deal, but in himself. He ordered an independent review. The result stunned everyone. The clause was real, carefully hidden, perfectly legal and devastating. The deal was stopped minutes before disaster. News spread quickly. People expected lawsuits, public outrage, revenge. Instead, Ethan did something no one expected. He asked to meet the waitress again, not to thank her, to listen. He learned about her father, about her struggles, about how fear had taught her courage. And in her story, Ethan saw his own reflection. Except she had chosen compassion over comfort. He offered her a new opportunity, education, a voice, a future. But more than that, he changed the way he did business. He slowed down. He listened. He created protections for people who didn't have power, because he remembered how close he came to losing everything. Months later, at a company event, Ethan stood before thousands. "The most valuable warning I ever received," he said, "came from someone the world told me to ignore." In the crowd, the former waitress stood taller than she ever had. And in that moment, everyone understood something simple and powerful. Kindness doesn't need permission. Compassion doesn't need a title. And sometimes, the smallest voice can stop the biggest mistake, if we're willing to listen.